to the. Let's see what the next team we can talk about. Let's move on to the Clippers. The Clippers are an interesting team just because obviously, the new rule changes coming in. Maybe Kawhi Leonard will finally play more than 60 games a season. And that's something that I've been looking forward to with this. I think Clippers fans, the two of them that are out there have been looking forward to these Clippers actually playing together and trying to get that championship that they've been promising Steve Ballmer and the rest of Clipper Nation for forever. It just feels like this team continuously, you expect so much out of them, and then they continuously disappoint. I really want to put them in mid-off just because of how, how mid they've been. But I mean, they're obviously a playoff team. Jokes aside, they're a playoff team. But it's about time that they finally make some noise, because if Kawhi Leonard was at one time the best player in the NBA, and Paul George, one of the best two-way players in the NBA at one point, how about you guys actually do something in this league and make a big run in the playoffs and actually go to the finals like you promised your two fans? I mean, it's about time that this Clipper team showed up and showed out. And I don't want to see any more, as much as I love the podcast, it's time to stop the podcasting and get right back into playing some games for Paul George. So that's my 2 cents on this team. What do you guys think?
I mean, we didn't talk about it, but what do we think like the Clippers are going to do now? Because we know they wanted to get Drew. So like,
yep.
Do we think they make another move? Because their guard rotation as is pretty much just Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Bones.
I bet this team's calling Chicago like around the clock.
So? Oh, they have to. They have to.
I like the sound of that.
I think they're trying to get Levine, DeRozan, whichever one they can, Caruso. They're trying to get 2 of those 3 guys are trying to be communicated or transferred to this team right now.
Well, transfer portal.
Caruso would be amazing on this team. That is somebody they need.
Yeah.
Although he's also really injury prone.
I think Levine would fit this team pretty well too. Just in terms of having like a night in, night out guy who could give them, 26, 27, something. Just like they need scoring. Like that would really help, but they really just need whatever they can get. Like, they added I'm sorry I'm going to do this. I just have to preface, but they added Splasher and Flasher, Josh Primo to the team. I've been holding on to that one. I'm sorry.
I was going to say Primo was on this team.
I think Primo's legitimately talented. Like they have some youth on this team, like that isn't bad, but they don't have a lot of value.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem with this squad. Like, what are they going to turn like a Brandon Boston into, right? Like, I actually really like Brandon Boston. I think he still needs some minutes.
Give him some TLC. That's what he needs.
And if you get deep into those forums, there's a lot of talk about him in practice runs just kind of cooking people. Like there are people who say he just actually needs to get minutes. He's like actually kind of a problem. So. Shouts out Brandon Boston. But yeah, that being said, they definitely have a lot of stuff that's very mid. And if they could turn a few of these things into just like 1 or 2 more like really quality pieces, I don't know, man. This is like one of the most simple equations for any team. If Paul George and Kawhi are healthy, this team is a legitimate championship contender, in my opinion. It's just that's very unlikely. Like, we know that's not the most likely scenario for those 2 guys. So they still have Ty Lue, one of the best coaches in the league. They still have some, guys that are, I would argue, unexplored as like really quality NBA players. Like Terrence Mann he'll never get enough minutes for this team. I really don't understand why he doesn't get to play as much as he should. But that's Ty. I mean, Ty Lue's a good coach. I'm not going to sit here and question him all day, but I like this team.
T-Man should be starting, and he should be getting a lot of on-ball reps.
If there was any fair criticism, it's probably that. Like Terrence Mann, he just needs to be out on the court more for this team.
Is he your splasher or is he your?
Dude, they have that all wrapped up in one guy.
Oh man, that was a good one.
They drafted Kobe Brown too,
yes,
who I really
Kobe
like.
Brown, yeah,
great player out of Missouri. I want to say,
Missouri, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
I like him too.
guard.
He's huge. Yeah, he's huge. 6'8", 250. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, We'll see with them, man. I still have a lot of questions. Like, I don't really understand. Like, what is Bones Highland on this team? You know, what is he
Him
doing?
and Marcus Morris, like they gotta just they
so
don't fit this team anymore.
No.
Norm Powell, I really like Norm Powell, but like, there's so much overlap with guys like Norm Powell on this team that just
Well,
I don't really get it.
yeah, it would be nice to see what they do with some of these pieces. I mean, it's a very yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of okay players, and then you have your star players. And that's just in this day and age, you need basically your starting five, or at least someone, a couple guys off the bench that are like that can really be serviceable on the bench unit. So I'll put them in NBA playoffs. I think obviously they're good enough with their star players to get there. Now the question is, can they get over that hump and get into the finals or the Western Conference Finals? That is yet to be seen, and I don't personally believe, unless some big trade happens in the next 48 hours. Well, obviously
they got a couple weeks. Yeah,
they got a couple weeks, but at least for our news sake, trying to put stuff
now
out
or
on the
never.
channel. It's now or never. But I do think that's kind of the issue for them. Is like
I will make a bold prediction for this related to this team going into the season.
Traded.
No, I'm gonna say I think Kawhi is gonna return to All NBA this season. That's my prediction.
Wow.
I'm just throwing it out there. I do think he's gonna end up playing enough games.
You think he plays
Dude,
65 games?
I think he will. I think he will. I don't know. There's a lot of talk about this is like the healthiest he's been coming into a season. That could be all smoke and mirrors. It probably
Did that come from
is.
his camp?
Nah,
Uncle
that's
Dennis.
just, dude. Uncle Dennis is heavy in the
Uncle Dennis.
propaganda game. Uncle Dennis has been working with Putin this summer on the propaganda.
Uncle Dennis needs to pay us, and we'll be propagandists for him.
Uncle Denise, yeah. If you watched Kawhi last season when he was healthy, he really was still that guy. I mean,
he's a
Kawhi
monster.
He is an absolute monster, and from everything, that rule is that they should just call it the Kawhi rule. The 65 games, no resting rule, or not, whatever that rule is called, whatever they're trying to call it. It should be called the Kawhi rule. And honestly, if he has one more season to do it, it's this year, and I'm just going to predict he's going to do it. I think people are really sleeping on how good he is still. It gets conflated with how little he plays, that he's not as good as he used to be. Mm-hmm. It's just he doesn't do it as often. He's still one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah, he's better than KD, in my humble opinion.
Brad, that is the hottest take you've had in a long time, and honestly, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I truly agree with you. I think if you put them in the same level of health year in, year out, and you put them on the same teams, you're going to have better results with Kawhi 9 times out of 10.
I absolutely agree.
All right,
the defense is just a huge factor.
Bernie's like, shut these guys up. Dude. We
shut
gotta move
the
on
mics.
Right now.
Mute their
Get
mics.
off the airway.
First it was Scoot.
Get off the airway, dog.
Oh boy, we're delirious today.
Yeah, but yeah, let's see what you guys think in the comment section down below about the Clippers. What's your opinion of them? Do you guys think that they can make a big playoff run, or do you think that it stops in the first or second round? Let us know in the comment section down below.